This place holds so much significance to me. For 15 years of my life, I've been coming here with my father. It's where I harvested my first elk, and now, bringing Lindsay here for the first time, we show her all of the spots that we've made so many memories in the past. As we arrive at the place where my grandfather's ashes are spread, it finally hits me. We're here, and it's time to hunt elk. The gigantic aspen trees that surround us set the mood and remind us that there is something much bigger than ourselves, and this place embodies that in such a surreal way. Day 2, the real day 1, we're heading out. About 7:45. Getting all of our kinks worked out for our first day, usually how it goes. In traditional fashion, our first hike goes out along a cattle trail that weaves through a thick stand of small aspen trees. As we're surrounded by the greens and golds of September in the brisk morning air, can't help but feel grateful to be out here and also to be in each other's company. Something about this place is special, whether it be the sounds and the sights or the elk sign that we see here. I came across this scrape that the very top portion of the tree that was damaged was literally 8 feet off the ground. The main point of being out here in the woods hunting is enjoying yourself. We saw these cattle and decided to see how close we can get. Little did we know that there was almost 20 of them as we came around the corner of a thick stand of trees. There they were, all staring at us.
What do you mean you gotta chug it?
Chug
Bullshit, you're not chugging.
We're adding wilderness athlete recovery to PBR. Let's see the reaction here. This ought to be good.
Oh no, it's funny.
Oh my god. It don't taste bad.
For the first time since last year, my father and I headed out together. This is the first year that I truly realized that I won't be able to hunt with my dad forever.
This is something we haven't done for a while.
I know.
It's me and you together.
I know it.
That's cool.
It is. I'm glad. We came up here to the clear cut to get some cell phone service. It worked. Leading up to this season, my dad wasn't sure he was going to be able to hunt. He's been struggling with arthritis in both hips and eventually will need a double hip replacement. The thought of my father and I not being able to hunt together is a strange one for me to grasp. For the past 15 years we've gone together. Since my start in bow hunting, he's taught me everything that I know, and he was there for the harvest of my first big game animal, which just happened to be a bull elk that we called in together. And so ended Lindsay and I's elk hunt together. She was going back into town and I was going to stay. With her first ever elk hunt, she was able to draw back on a cow without being presented a shot opportunity. I think she learned a lot, and I'm certainly very glad that she was able to come and spend time with me. Went into town with Lindsay and came back out of town with Brandon. We got to camp, put our clothes on, followed this cow down into the woods to hunt the afternoon. We encountered a small spike at about 30 yards, and on the way back, we saw one of the biggest mule deer I've ever seen in my entire life. Watch as I stalked to within about 15 yards of this giant. He had no idea we were there as his head was behind this pine tree. Of course, we didn't have a tag for mule deer, so that's why we had an awesome shot opportunity pretty much the entire time. Look how close we were to our camp when we saw this deer. You can see it in the background as I zoom back out. Alright, it's day 2 here with Brandon. But we're gonna head down to where I shot my elk in 2014. Hopefully repeat something similar. The wind's been blowing like crazy, so we're gonna try to get down and get out of the wind. I hope the elk are doing the same. This hike holds so much significance to me because it's the same hike that I did the morning that I harvested my first elk. As we descend down the hill, we hear some bugling. We got a bull up here on the hillside. The bull and his cows moved off along the hillside. We snuck along and we followed them for a while, spotting them a few more times before we finally lost them. We're just having a snack. Brandon saw his 5x5 bull that he wanted to shoot. Of course, it's about 2 miles from camp, down at the bottom of a canyon. Best place to shoot. Yep. And we saw a couple more cows, calf. No shot. As we made our way back from the bottom up to camp, we caught movement up in the clear cut. It was a large black animal. We're almost certain it was a big black bear. So we snuck up. Brandon had his hand on his pistol, which I thought was kind of funny, but I guess it's better safe than sorry. We advanced very slowly and quietly towards the opening. We'd lost sight of whatever it was that we saw. We weren't really sure what to do. Suddenly, our big black object ran off. Well, Brandon and I found the elk yesterday, so we're all going down today, down the bottom. We got Dad with us. We're gonna probably spend the whole day down here. It's really cloudy today. Probably get some rain when you get the elk moving. We're gonna shoot 3 elk down here in the bottom in one day. And we're gonna be packing them out for the next 7 days. First, I had the shot opportunity when a cow ran through an opening 40 yards up the hill from us. Next was Dad's opportunity. I had the spike run through an opening at 44 yards, hopefully to be followed by the cow, which she was up the hill a little further, so there was no shot. Lastly, it was all Brandon. He first had a shot opportunity, which you just saw. The cow was 60 yards up the hill. We followed them along this trail, and you see the spike here playing and thrashing this tree. The cow was about 25 yards further up the hill from the spike. When you're dealing with elevation and uphill and downhill shots, it's very, very important to have an angle compensating rangefinder. As you saw, this elk was a lot further than 61 yards, but because it was such a steep uphill, that's where the 61 came from. The cow continued to cut up the hill as the spike just moseyed along about 50 yards up from us. Seeing as we're in a point restricted area, we couldn't shoot the spike, we moved off as well. Learning to elk call with Brandon. Perfect. Not bad. This is the first time he's ever used a diaphragm call. Probably chew with chew in his mouth. Now it's his. We ended up going all the way to the public land boundary, which is almost 4 miles from camp. It's really cool back here, but as you can see, we're having fun. And as Brandon said, we're pushing the outer limits. Our Friday night ended by finding 2 bulls and a bunch of cows bedded down in the far end of the canyon. Our plan was to go back tomorrow. But as tomorrow came, we were greeted with rain and snow. We got a little break from the torrential downpour. It's light rain and kind of freezing rain at this point, so we're out and go pick up the game cameras and hopefully catch something bedded down. It's gonna have to be a close shot, otherwise there's not gonna be much blood trail in it in this rain. So, this is pretty much the last day. Wish us luck. Seems the same as last year. Had lots of action and catching some bulls bugling finally. And then shit weather comes in and pretty much ends it. And we're out here nonetheless. Check the cameras, nothing new on there, but it's too bad. This was a good year. We saw a lot of elk this year. The most I've seen in a very long time. Snowing again. Me and Brandon were making our way down from the mountain, and it's thundering and snowing. This is the second year in a row this has happened. Snow, Dad's still out. It's probably gonna keep up all day. If there's one thing that I've learned from all the years that I've been bow hunting, it's to not put so much emphasis on the harvest, rather to enjoy the adventure. If you're carrying a bow in the mountains in September, you will make memories, whether you kill something or not.
Camera. Science.
Bow hunting is a pastime that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, and until you get out there in September and watch aspen leaves change around you, thunderstorms come and go in a matter of minutes, and the bugle of a bull elk echo throughout the canyon. It's hard to understand why we love it so much and why we obsess all year long. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Coming up next, we go on a first season rifle elk hunt in western Colorado. Shoot straight.